God bless you, dear ones. Welcome to the Word with Chester. Today we will begin study in the Song of Solomon. The book was wrote by Solomon. The theme of the book is the beloved, wrote in the 10th century BC. Let me make you aware that in reading this book, many of you, it will really depend on your mindset, how you take it. Well, Solomon is actually writing a love song to someone that he really loved, and you have to grasp that point. He loved this particular Shulamite woman. He loved it to the point that he wrote this song about her and their desire for each other. Now, you have to understand the spiritual mind will have to overtake the carnal mind as you read, because many people will go way out to the left, and some people would even say, well, that's in the Bible. Well, yes, it's in the Bible, but it's talking about the love between a man and his wife, a man and this woman that he loved. Now, if you remember, as we read through the Ecclesiastes and also in the Proverbs, Solomon made plain to enjoy the wife that you love. And you have to understand, Solomon had 700 wives and 300 concubines, but yet this one he loved. Now, I can't tell you how he felt about the rest of them. Sure, he loved them all. I guess he married them. Well, I also want to say that many of the marriages were arranged marriages, where he married maybe the daughter of a king, or a family member of the king, and in an alliance for peace and things of that nature. If you're familiar with tradition in that era, many times that was done, where a king, this king would marry someone, or maybe the other king's daughter or something of that nature, and that would cause a peace between them. So Solomon had many wives, but this one that we'll be reading about, he loved with all of his heart. And don't go way out in the left and get too carnal on us, because even though we're reading a love story and about the love between a man and a woman, well, this is really, you can get a picture how your love life ought to be with your wife, the wife that you love. Now, I would never condone polygamy. It's against the laws of our land, but yet that wife that you love, the one you marry, intimacy is supposed to be there, my dears. If you have a marriage without intimacy, you got a real problem. And also, as we unfold this book, you will also see the true intimacy that he had with her. It wasn't just jumping in the bed with her, having sex with her. He was building a life there, and he was taking her out and giving her dainties and things of that nature. So you have to get the picture as we read. I'm going to try to unfold it and show you the dialogue, because at some points the Shunammite woman will be speaking and then Solomon will be speaking. I will try, please excuse me, dears, for my throat not being its best. But I will try to let you know when one is speaking and the other is speaking, so that you will get this dialogue between this Shunammite woman, the one who Solomon loved. Now, we're going to begin reading at verse 1. If I choose to later on do more reading than I do commentary, understand what's going on and the dialogue between this woman and Solomon, and how much he loved her. So keep that in your mind. Now get that. The theme of the book is the beloved. The beloved. We'll begin our reading today at verse 1. I may have mentioned that the date of writing was around 10th century BC, during Solomon's lifetime, because he penned this book. You have to understand that. He wrote these songs Now, the first verse, he'll be giving you the title of the particular song that he's writing, and we'll also discuss a young bride, a Shulamite, the Shulamite girl. Now, keep that in mind as we read now. The title of the book, verse 1, the Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. That's the title of the title of the song, if you please. The Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. Now let's read on in verse 2. Now, in verse 2, the Shulamite speaks. The Shulamite woman, she speaks. The Shulamite maid, if you please, she speaks. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. Now, somebody done went out there and left field now. We're way out there now. This is what the Shulamite woman is saying. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. Well, in the right situation, there's nothing wrong with a kiss, my dears. Nothing wrong with kissing that one that you adore. I would not tell any man, you don't jump from woman to woman now. You don't have to go kiss everybody and love only everybody. But that one that you love now, this one that you married now to, or engaged or heading to that marriage in this case. Now let's read. I'll read that again. The Shulamite woman, let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. Now, let's read on now. This is the daughters of Jerusalem speak now, the daughters of Jerusalem, for thy love is better than wine, because of the savor of thy good ointments, thy name is like ointment poured forth, therefore do the virgins love thee. The virgins love thee. In other words, Solomon was eligible. They all of them wanted to be with Solomon. Because number one, Solomon was very wealthy. He was the king now. And if you were the king's wife, then you had everything in the kingdom as his wife. You were well taken care of, if you please. You may have been starved for sex if you were one of those wives that he did not love. But if you were that one that he loved now, you got everything, and then you got the love that was in his heart. Now, let's read on in verse 4. The Shulamite speaks here. Draw me after thee. Draw me after thee. Can you see she's speaking now? Now again, the daughters of Jerusalem speak. We will make haste. Now the Shulamite speaks. The king hath brought me unto his chamber. He's brought me into his chamber. Now let me also give you just a little brief picture now. When someone was getting ready to marry, the virgins, other virgins would be around her, helping her prepare, getting her ready to go in. But the Shulamite woman, the king's saying, the king had brought me into his chamber. He's brought me to his chamber. Now let's read on in verse, in the latter part of that verse. Now the daughters of Jerusalem speaking, we will be glad and rejoice in thee. We will remember thy love more than wine. The upright love thee. The upright love thee. Those that are good in heart, the upright, with the right mindset, they love thee. Now let's read now. The Shulamite woman speaking here, I am black but comely. I'm black but comely. In other words, I'm a dark-skinned woman and I'm beautiful. Those of you that have a problem with that, you have to understand that this woman was a dark-skinned woman. She was a black woman, if you please. I am black but comely. Oh, ye daughters of Jerusalem. I'm black but comely. Oh, you daughters of Jerusalem. Like the tent of Kedar, like the curtains of Solomon. Let's read. Look not upon me because I am black. Don't look at me because I'm black now. Look not upon me because I'm black, because the sun have looked upon me. My mother's children were angry with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyards, but mine own vineyard have I not kept. Now, wait a minute. What is she saying? Because I am dark-skinned, because I'm black, if you please. My own folks was mad at me. They was angry at me, and they pushed me out, and they made me push my mother. Let me see, they made me the keeper of the vineyards now. In other words, out in the sun, the keeper of the vineyard. Anytime you're in the sun all the time, your skin darkens, you get tanned, if you please, out in the sun. And I know a little bit about that. When I was very young, I started working when I was like 12 years old, out in the fields and things of that nature, doing work, maybe chopping cotton, doing some type of something. That was years and years ago. And I promised when I got out of that dirt, I wasn't going back in it. And I haven't been back yet. But yet years ago, when you're out in that sun, your skin would darken up, if you please. Now you have to understand, they made her the keeper of the vineyard. Now she's letting you know, even in this song, that how she was despised. But you're going to also find out that she's getting great love now. She's loved now from someone that's at the top of the kingdom now, the king himself. I'm getting loved. I was hated even by my own family. They put me out in the vineyard, and the vineyard wasn't even mine, and I had to work out there. Now let's read on. The Shulamite woman continues. Tell me, O thou whom my soul loveth, where thou feedest, where thou makest thy flocks to rest at noon. For why should I be like one that turneth aside by the flocks of thy companion? Well, asking a question now. In other words, in this situation, put me in the right place at the right time so things can happen. Now let's read on in verse 8. Solomon now, the shepherd lover, replies. Solomon now is about to reply. If thou know not, O thou fairest among women. In other words, you might be dark-skinned, but you fairest among women. That means you superfine, if you please. Now, I hope I ain't getting too carnal on you, but you just might as well look at it like it is. She was a beautiful woman, dark-skinned, beautiful woman. If thou knowest not, O thou fairest among women, go thy way in the footsteps of the flock, and feed thy kids beside the shepherd's tent. He's letting her know where to go. Where to go, even with the flock that she has. Now let's read on. This is a mutual admiration. Number one, Solomon saw that she was beautiful, and she had an eye for Solomon too. Can you get the picture? There's no love, and it's really not love unless it's coming from both ways. That's a real turnoff. If you love somebody dearly, and you can see that they don't love you at all, well, that's a real turnoff, my dears. Now let's read on in verse 9. Solomon speaks. Now, I have compared thee, O my love, to the company, to a company of horses in Pharaoh's chariots. This is not, you this beautiful, now you this fine. I've compared you to Pharaoh, all the horses and the chariots that Pharaoh have. Now, can you get the picture? She had to be something else now. Let's read in verse 10. Thy cheeks are comely, and comely meant pretty. Comely meant beautiful, if you please. Thy cheeks are comely with the row, or commonly, let me put it that way. Get that now. Thy cheeks are comely with the row of jewels, thy neck with chains of gold. In other words, you're fixed up and you're beautiful. Now, this is the daughters of Jerusalem speaking now. We will make the borders of gold with studs of silver. Can you see the daughters of Jerusalem now? They getting with this thing. We going to make it happen here now. We going to make it happen. Now, let's read in 12. This is the Shulamite woman speaking now. While the king sitteth at his table, my spikenards sendeth forth the fragrance thereof. Now, while the king sitting at his table, the spikenard now, well, the incense or whatever, that you get smell and all of that type of thing, make things smell good, is going to send forth the fragrance thereof. Please excuse me. Now, verse 13, a bundle of mirth is well beloved unto me. He shall lie all night between my breasts. In other words, he gonna be with me between my breasts. And I'm not gonna get explicit here. This is not an X-rated show, but you have to get the picture. He's gonna lie with her between her breasts. Between her breast. Get the picture of what's going on now and what she's saying. My beloved is unto me as a cluster of henna flowers in the vineyard of Engedi. Can you see? This is how much she loved him. My beloved is unto me. She loved him. And she's given this descriptive term. Well, how would you describe someone that you love? You would use things that you've seen with your eye that were beautiful, or things that you know about, or you touched and you felt, and it was wonderful and beautiful. So that's what they're doing, or she's doing. She's using things that she knew about to describe how she felt about Solomon. Can you see this love thing going both ways? Now, Solomon responds now. Solomon is talking. Behold, thou art fair, my beloved, my love. Behold, thou art fair. Thou hast dove's eyes. In other words, he's letting her know just how beautiful she is, just how fine she is. He's telling her that you're fair, my dears. And he said it more than one time. Thou art fair. Thou hast dove's eyes. Now, goodness, how beautiful and how graceful the dove. Can you see Solomon now really getting his Mac on, isn't he? He's getting his Mac on it. And I might say this, she's macking a little bit too. They macking each other. Now let's read now. In verse 16, the Shulamite is speaking. The Shulamite speaks, behold, thou art fair, my beloved, yea, pleasant. Also our bed is green. Our bed is green. It's decked out. She had it green. I don't know if that meant go back in those days, but it's green. So we gonna go. Well, let's read now in verse 17. The beams of our house are cedar, and our rafters of fir. The beams of our house. Can you see? Now, the Shulamite is speaking now. And number one, she had everything decked out. So when Solomon did go into her, it would be fixed up beautifully. The bed green. I imagine there's pillows and all that go through. Now, you have to understand, in the king's house, they didn't go get Walmart pillows. Things were made and imported and beautiful, possibly silk sheets and the whole 9 yards that go with royalty. Can you see she's explaining the house that Solomon is coming into her. The beams of our house are cedar and our rafters are fir. She's describing it. Now I hope you get the love language between the Shulamite woman and Solomon. This is a love affair going both ways, and they're using descriptive terms. Now you have to understand, courtship is more than just meeting somebody, liking them, and jumping in the bed. Can you see all of the courtship, if you please, and their dialogue to each other? How beautiful you are, how fair you are, describing each other. Can you see that they're loving each other? And this is one of the wives that Solomon loved. He loves this Shulamite woman, this dark-skinned Shulamite woman. Well, my dears, for the sake of my throat, I'm going to stop here, but we'll take up in our next lesson. We'll take up in our next lesson at chapter 2. But I want you to know that I love you with the love of the Lord. If any of you would like to accept Jesus as your Savior, just repeat after me. Jesus, come into my heart. Forgive me for my sins. I'm sorry for the wrongs that I've done. I believe that you shed your blood on Calvary cross for my sins. I believe you were resurrected on the third day. If you said that simple prayer, I believe you got saved. Now find yourself a Bible preaching, Bible teaching church. Go there. Let them speak into your lives and watch God bless you. Again, I say, I love you, my dears. I love you with the love of the Lord. God bless you.